Hey everyone, it's Dr. Mike. Imagine this, you get a text from your son or daughter and they're super excited and they send you a picture of their report card. Straight A's, you couldn't be more proud of them. And so they ask you, hey mom or dad, can I have a new video game? And you say, sure, I don't see the harm in that. So you send your son or daughter to the store with their aunt or uncle or grandma and grandpa and you let them get whatever game they want. Well, wouldn't you be mortified to see your son or daughter slaughtering a mass of zombies wearing a ridiculously small bikini, or extorting a strip club for money, or you walk in when they're smack dab in the middle of a very intense love scene? Welcome to the Level Up Mental Health channel, where we talk about how technology impacts your relationships, parenting, and personal mental health. Sexual content and nudity in video games. How much are you comfortable with in your child's video games? In this episode of the Video Game Parent Guide, we're going to talk about what the ESRB allows for in each rating as far as sexual content and nudity, and what you need to be aware of as a responsible parent. If you're new here on this channel, make sure that you jump into the playlist and watch the rest of these episodes. Just like with violent content, the amount of sexual content that you should allow your child to be playing with should take into consideration your child's age, their developmental level, your own personal values and morals, as well as your own ability to have a conversation with your child about some of this content. Much like with movies, video games allow a certain amount of sexual content in each level. For games that are rated E and E10, we're not going to even talk about them as they do not have a high level of sexual content within them. In games rated T for teen, you may expect some light sexual content, such as seeing women who are scantily clad, some crude sexual humor, basically like that's what she said jokes. For your games that are rated M for mature, you're going to expect to see a pretty wide gamut of sexual content. A nice simple rule of thumb is to think of M-rated games similar to R-rated movies. In M-rated games, you can expect to see things from nudity to scenes of sexual intercourse to overt sexual humor. So whenever a video game is submitted by a game developer to the ESRB, one of the main things that they take into consideration is the amount of sexual content within the game. The other thing that they take into consideration is violence. So if you haven't seen my video about violence, make sure to click on the card. However, I will reiterate once again that M-rated games may have overt sexual content, including sexual intercourse scenes. So just be aware of that if you're a parent who's thinking about buying games for your child. So next we're going to take a look at another rating, and that is the adults only rating. So within the AO rating, you can expect to see much more wide range of sexual content. This will include straight up pornography games. So if your child is a console player, this is something you don't have to worry about, because currently in the United States and pretty much around the world through all the main video game outlets, they don't create any console version games that are adults only that I know of. However, if your child plays PC games, there is access to adults only games out there on the internet. Specifically on Steam, they do now carry adults only rated games. So that's something you should be aware of if you allow your child to purchase games on the Steam store. So if you do have a teenager or a preteen that you let shop in the Steam store, make sure that you take a look at their cart and have the final say, so that way no adults only games accidentally make their way into the shopping cart. Now, besides the ESRB rating, you should really just take a look at the box art once again, and go back to my previous video about box art. When looking at the box, make sure that you're on the lookout for overtly risque images, provocative images, or any scantily clad characters if that's the sort of thing that you're not comfortable with. A lot of games with overt sexual content don't tend to hide that sort of thing because it tends to be a big selling point for their intended audience. So let's recap on some things that you should be asking before you decide to make that purchase when thinking about what kind of sexual content is in a video game that you're thinking about buying. But before we do that, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me a ton. Thanks. Does the game have any sexual content? Remember, it should say so on the ESRB label. Does the game have any crude sexual humor? Does the game appear to have any sexually suggestive or adult type themes? Does the game have any overt sexual intercourse or nudity within the game? And again, most of the answers to these questions will be on the box either on the cover or right on the ESRB rating. So make sure that you take a look, read the information that's on there, so that way there aren't any surprises. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned for next week when we start to get more into the more interesting topics of video gaming. So next week we are going to be talking about video game addiction and what makes video games so addictive and enticing to kids. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. You're not going to want to miss it. So hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.